So the way it works is that people connect with stuff online and then they book into a diary so that they can connect with you, right? They book a time, they talk to you, they buy. When it comes to getting people's attention, you can really either throw money at the problem or time at the problem. So if you've got lots of money, right, you can throw money at the problem through advertising and through sponsorships. If there's a big event running for your target customer, you could sponsor the event. If there is a big podcast, you could sponsor the podcast. You could run ads on Instagram or on Facebook or Google or YouTube. So if you can throw money at the problem, happy days. That's a great thing to be able to do. I personally, my favorite thing in the world is to throw money at problems. If I could just throw money at all my problems, I'd be super, super happy with that. I wish I could throw money at getting fit. Wouldn't it be great if you could just spend money and you magically get fit? Some problems you have to throw some time at the problem. The issue with throwing money at the problem is that in the world of business, money is an accelerant, but it doesn't help if you don't have if you don't have something working. So think about it like this. Things like advertising, they throw fuel on the fire. So if you've got a little fire burning and you throw fuel on the fire, it's going to become a much bigger fire. So for example, if you've got some content that you're posting on Instagram and people are really responding to that content, they're really loving it, it's getting clicks and it's getting comments and it's getting likes. If you run ads to that content, you boost it in front of more eyeballs, that's a very good thing. That's an accelerant. It's throwing fuel on the fire. But if you purely and simply, if you post content on social media and it gets crickets, no one's responding, you're not getting any real engagement. If you throw ads at that, you're just essentially going to put it in front of a lot of people, and you'll actually get grumpy people who write nasty comments. Why is this appearing in my feed? This looks stupid. You get all this kind of negativity. So you're essentially getting, you can spend money, but you won't get much of a result. So you have to start with spending time in creativity to fine tune your message to your people. So you got to start with creativity. You got to start with some hustle, and then you can throw money on top of that once it's working. So key is don't run ads until you've got social media working organically. And then once it's working organically, then you can throw some ads. Okay, so where do we go for attention? We go to the places where people already spend their attention. So pretty much when it comes to the online world, you've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube. Those are the big five. LinkedIn would be a key place. Instagram might be a good place. YouTube would definitely be a great place. So you want to pick at least one or two of these as your dominant platforms. Every single business should have at least one dominant platform. That is the main platform where you're going to post all the time. It's the main platform where you're going to engage. And what you'll do is you'll set up accounts on all the other platforms, and you'll say, I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, but feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter or X, but feel free to come and connect with me on LinkedIn. That's called signposting. So you at least show up on those platforms, but you signpost people back to your dominant platform. For most small businesses, if your business is less than $1 million, you really only need to have one or two social media platforms that your business is really active on, but you need to get active on at least one or two. You've got to pick one and go with it. So, pick a preferred platform and show up there all the time until such time as you've fine-tuned your message. What are we going to do to post content? What are we going to post? I'm going to give you a formula for posting content on these platforms. And this is my formula, and it works and it works and it works and it works. It's a really great formula. And I've been using this for years and years and years and years. Okay, so here's the formula. On Monday, you're going to post about pain, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine your target customer. You're going to imagine the customer that you've got in mind, and you're going to say what annoys them, what frustrates them, what pain do they have, and how can I talk about the pain that my customer is experiencing? So let's say your target customer is a middle-aged executive who struggles to keep fit and lose weight. You can talk about, isn't it difficult when you've got a busy work schedule to be able to stay fit and lose weight? Here's 3 or 4 ways that people, or here's 3 or 4 things that cause busy executives to fail at their fitness goals, right? So imagine this: the 3 top reasons busy executives fail at their fitness goals. So that is an absolute pain-orientated headline, right? So that's a pain conversation. So it's why people fail. It's why you get frustrated. It talks about anything at all that people go, oh, that sucks. That's me. I suffer from that. I struggle with that. That's something that annoys me. It really targets what's called problem-aware people. Problem-aware people are people who are aware they have a problem, but they don't know what the solution is. And it's a much, much bigger group than the solution-aware group. Okay, so Monday is pain day. If we were a financial planner, here's some headlines we might do. Did you overpay on tax last year? Let me tell you about a couple who lost 50 grand on a Bitcoin scam. 1 in 3 London GPs are now struggling financially. Have you given up on retiring at 65? What should you do after you've been through a costly divorce? How a slight pay cut could destroy your plan to retire before age 70. So those are examples of pain. Okay. On Wednesday, we're going to switch from pain to news. We're going to talk about news. News could be anything that's in the real life news, or it could be anything that is news for you. So it could be your personal news, or it could be breaking news. So personal news might be, I've just taken up cycling. Here's 5 lessons that I've learned. I just read a great book. Here's a great book that I just read. News could be, we just won an award recently. Here's how we did that. So that's your personal news, or news could be discussing things that are in the news. So you just go to the BBC, or you go to The Guardian or The Telegraph, or wherever you want to get some news from, and you just find an article that relates tenuously to what you do, and you just have a discussion about that top trending piece of news. So let's say you're a health and fitness trainer. You might talk about a celebrity who's in the news who's just had a health and fitness transformation, right? Anything at all that's kind of like in the news, in the zeitgeist, you're going to talk about that. So it could be your personal news, could be breaking news. So for example, news could be how inflation has changed the way we're investing, what the Chancellor's budget does for business owners, what we can learn from the latest high-profile divorce. Facebook just did this. Should you care about it? Examples of personal news. I've just started cycling. I just read Atomic Habits, learned a valuable lesson. My parents just retired and shared 3 tips with me. I've just invested into a startup. My friend just from school just sold her business. Here's some advice, right? So those are all examples of news. On Friday, we're going to talk about prizes. We're going to talk about the prize. So we've got pain, news, prize. So the prize is anything that represents what people ultimately want by working with you. What does your customer ultimately want? Their ultimate desires. What is the prize at the end of the marathon for your customer? So if you're dealing with entrepreneurs, you might talk about how to build a lifestyle business, 7 habits for building a lifestyle business. Or you might say the 5 things you need to master if you want to sell your business for more than 10 million. Or you might talk about how to hire highly motivated, highly successful salespeople. Anything that is a prize that people would want. So here we go. How a small pay rise could shave 5 years off retirement, how to retire with a big house, a fancy car, and a yacht, why you must negotiate a better deal on your mortgage, investing in green companies could help, why you could earn more from socially responsible, how to have unshakable confidence in your finances. So those would be all examples. If you're a financial planner, those would be examples of prize-related content. So essentially, you've got Monday is pain day, Wednesday is news day, Friday is prize day. Now, what you will do is this will force you to keep talking about the 3 top things that people want to talk about. They want to talk about what pisses them off. They want to talk about what excites them. and they want to talk about latest trends, latest news, latest stuff that's going on, anything that's just new and novel. Those three topics always work. And if you keep banging on about it 3 times a week, people will eventually go, oh, I recognize this person. This person is a voice in my industry. This person is always on message. This person's always interesting. This person's always talking about something that's going on. Right? So really, really powerful. Now, some of you are a little bit concerned about, like, how do I write blogs and articles? And you're a bit concerned about how do I do scripts for videos and all of that sort of stuff. You currently have absolutely no excuses because we now have AI. Artificial intelligence is absolutely awesome for coming up with ideas. So you could say, I'm a fitness trainer. I work with middle-aged, busy executives. I help them to lose weight, gain muscle, and deal with stress. Create a customer avatar. There we go. Oh, there we go. So get it to create a customer avatar. So it's created Alex Johnson, 45-year-old male, business hub, CEO, CFO, CTO, kids aged 10 and 12, income is over 150,000, psychographics, challenges or pain points, right? So it's creating a really nice little customer avatar for me here. Goals and aspirations. So AI is giving me that nice customer avatar there. And then I'm going to post to AI. I'm going to say, I want to write a LinkedIn post for Alex. Was it Alex? Yeah, I want to write a LinkedIn post for Alex. I want it to connect with his pain and frustration. Suggest 10 headlines for this blog article. So now it's going to say, all right, let's create 10 headlines on pain and frustration. From the boardroom to the gym, tailoring fitness for the time-starved executive, elevating executive performance, mastering stress fitness together, revolutionizing health routines for high flyers, bridging the gap, how busy executives can reclaim their health and vitality, beyond the desk, achieving physical peak performance for busy executives, right? So now I can say, unlike number 8, write this LinkedIn post. Here's a LinkedIn post based on the criteria. So this is a LinkedIn post, beyond the desk, achieving physical peak performance for busy executives. In a world where business never sleeps and the line between office and home is increasingly blurred, it's no surprise that a healthy well-being of leaders is often in the back burner. The demands of company driving growth. As a fitness trainer specializing in working with busy executives, I've seen firsthand the impact of tailored blah, 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 the cost of neglect. It's quite a long article. The path to peak performance. Okay. Write this as a short, fast post with a list of 5 things. So now we've got a shorter version, or I hope so. There we go. So now it's just getting straight into what you can do about it. You can do micro workouts with major gains. You can convert standing meetings to walking meetings, incorporate breathing activities, nutrition for the busy brain, rest as a weapon. Very cool. That's a cool article. I like that. And it's given me the hashtags to use, all of that sort of stuff. So pretty cool, pretty simple. Using AI, I'm very close to having a good article there. So, it takes 4 or 5 minutes to kind of come up with some good ideas when it comes to AI and posting. Now, here's what I will say. I will say that AI is good at creating sponge cake, but you've got to ice the cake as the entrepreneur. Icing the cake means using your personal stories, your examples. It means putting your finishing touches on it, humanizing it, right? So if you imagine that you go into a bakery and there's this lovely layered sponge cake, but no icing on the cake, you're not going to buy that cake. You're going to say, oh, yeah, that's just sponge cake sitting there by itself. But if the icing on the cake was absolutely beautiful icing and it had your name on it, oh, wow, that's my cake, right? So the key is that you need to take what AI says and you need to humanize it. So one of the best things you can do with any AI-generated post is you can actually use a real-life story that you've got. You could say, recently I worked with an executive who works at a FTSE 100 company, typically leaves the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, gets home at 8 o'clock at night, typically has back-to-back meetings, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, here's the few things that we've started working on together. So these are, this is what I would call icing the cake or humanizing these posts. If you're not brute forcing content, don't worry about optimizing. Optimizing is for when, like, if you think about a car that is in the Formula One and absolutely every second counts, that is when you get into optimizing, right? When you're already elite, you then optimize. If you think about like just a normal person who like rarely drives their car, just getting in the car at any time of day is going to be better than not driving at all, right? Getting in the gym at any time of day, doing anything is going to be better than nothing. Worry about optimization once you're at an elite level, once you're really smashing it. By the way, I've got hundreds of thousands of followers. I've never once thought about times of day or any of that. I just post when I'm ready and put stuff out there. But yes, if you're managing an account with millions of followers and you're really down to the wire as far as getting absolutely every inch out of your creative spend, you might start to worry about those sorts of things. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what is important, right? So here's what's way, way, way more important than times of day and stuff like this. There's a few key activities that make your social media posting worthwhile. So you're going to post a piece of content, and then here's what you're going to do. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to send 10 DMs, right? 10 cold DMs, and you're going to tell people to have a look at the post that you've just done. So here's what you're going to send out. You're going to send a little DM and you're going to say, hi, Raj, I know you're a bit of a sports enthusiast. I just wrote an article about how to keep playing sport even when you're a busy professional. Let me know if it resonates. Here's the link. Payne. Bradley, ever wondered what would happen if your business got hacked? This is my breakdown of what to expect hour by hour based on a real life event. Hopefully you find it entertaining and informative. Hi, James. I read your recent update about your new business. I just wrote an article about the 10 things entrepreneurs can do to win more business. I thought you might like it. Here's the link. So what you're doing is you're sending off 10 DMs for every single post that you do. You're going to send out 10 DMs to people and say, I just wrote a post on this. I hope you like it, right? So you're just going to get, the reason you're going to do that is you're just going to get the ball rolling. You're just going to get a few people liking and commenting. So just by firing off those little DMs, if you're going to go to the trouble of writing something, firing off a few little DMs where you go boom, 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 cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste, that's going to get just that first little bit of ball. The ball is rolling as far as people reacting to that. The other thing that you'll discover is that once the algorithm sees that people are commenting and liking your posts, then it sends more people. So It's kind of like, if a busy nightclub becomes even more busy because people can see people are interacting there, a busy post becomes even more busy because people can see that you're interacting there, and the algorithms can see that as well. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is, if an advanced move is something called a PLC group. A PLC group is where you set up a WhatsApp group, and it's called the post like comment group. It's not called the publicly listed company group. PLC is post like comment. So here's what you do. You set up a group with 10 of your friends in business, and you basically say, whenever any of us post on LinkedIn or Instagram, we post the link into the group, and the rest of us will like and comment on that post. We'll do that for each other while we're building our profiles. So this is like a squadron. It's like a little squadron of people who are flying together, and they're just constantly liking and commenting on each other's posts because they're all friends. They've agreed it in advance, and they set up a WhatsApp group for that purpose. You only really need about 10 people in this group, and that means that every post that you do will already have about 9 or 10 people liking and commenting on your post, which is a very, very good start for every single post that you do. So it's really, really powerful. If you all agree to do that for each other, it works a treat. Anything more than 10 and it becomes too much of a chore, but less than 10 or less people, and it's only a few minutes each day that it takes to do that for each other. So you commit that you're all going to post 3 times a week, and you're all going to like and comment on each other's posts 3 times a week. And that's called a social media squadron, or it's called a PLC group, post like comment group. Now, you might sit there and think, oh, that's a bit cheesy, that's a bit naff, that's not natural, etc., etc. I promise you, every single person who has more than 10,000 followers on social media is doing something like that. So the Jay Shettys and the Lewis Howes and the Diary of the CEOs and all of that sort of stuff, they all have those kind of groups in how they built their followings. It's just simply how it works. So if you want to say, oh, well, I would never do that because I'm too cool for that, or it's a bit boring to do that, or it's a bit cheesy to do that, I hate to say it's just how the game works. Once the algorithm sees that you've got 9 or 10 comments on that post, it just feeds it more and more stuff. Now, some of you have been posting on social media for 6 months, where you've been really religiously posting, and it's still crickets. You get 2 likes and 1 comment if you're lucky, or 5 likes and 1 comment. And some of you have got friends who you see them posting on LinkedIn and no one's engaging. That is unfortunately what happens if you don't play any of these games. If you don't play any of these games, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is, right? It's just a stupid thing, but that's how it is. It's a little bit like a sport. Can you imagine trying to train for an athletic sport on your own, and you've got no accountability, you've got no one who's like cheering you on, you've got no one in your morning group that goes to the gym together, right? It's very hard to compete with the people who do have a support group around them. So build yourself that little support group and get yourself that little social media squadron so that you've always got 10, 15, 20 people engaging on each post. Okay. Next thing I'm going to ask you to do is on every single post, you're going to ask for a signal of interest. So at the end of the post, you're going to say, what do you think? Or you're going to say a variation of that. So what are you doing about this? Would you like me to write more on this topic? Would you like me to send you the data that I just referenced? What's been your experience of this? If you want the report, just type data below and I'll send you the report, or something like that. Anything like that creates a signal of interest. What happens is that twice as many people will comment if you just simply finish off your post with what did you think, or what are your thoughts on this? It doubles the amount of people who engage if you just simply ask people to engage. So always finish with something like that. And then also add some hashtags that tell the algorithms who else to show this to. So this is step 1. Step 1 is all about getting some signals of interest. Once you've got those signals of interest, we're going to call those signals leads. So as soon as people start to engage, that is a starting point for leads, people connecting with you and engaging with you for leads. Now, obviously, You can take any high-performing content and turn it into an ad. You can take any high-performing video and boost it. You can take any high-performing post and boost it. You can add business call to actions to these. But the underlying thought process behind lead generation is high-quality content that people read and engage with. So you need to start with that first idea of getting people to engage. Now your job is to warm people up. And when you warm them up, you're going to book them into the diary. So the way it works is that people connect with stuff online and then they book into a diary so that they can connect with you, right? They book a time, they talk to you, they buy. So social media first, this is the warm-up phase. Then they book in, then they connect with you, then they buy. Okay, so a cold signal of interest is just somebody liking, sharing, or commenting on your post. Obviously not your squadron. Don't keep trying to book your squadron into your diary, right? They'll get sick of that real quickly. Or if someone's responding to a DM, if you sent out one of those 10 DMs and someone writes something back to you, that would be a cold signal of interest. So examples of cold signals we talked about. Okay, we need to turn cold into warm. So cold into warm means that you ask someone to complete a scorecard. You get multiple engagements with them on social media. They like everything that you do. They're emailing or direct messaging back and forwards with you. They're asking for more information, right? So that would be a warm signal of interest. So for example, if someone responds to your social media posts, let's say someone comments, you might send them this little direct message. You might say, "Hi, Colin, thanks for liking my post, 7 ways to save £50 a month. Let me know if you want to discuss any of those points. You might also be interested in something cool I've just launched called the Wealth Clarity Scorecard. It takes 3 minutes and it gives you a custom report with recommendations. There's no cost. It's just 2 to 3 minutes of your time. Here's the link. P.S. Happy to have a one-to-one chat with you if you like as well." Right? So that would be super simple. That would be a nice little DM. You've got that saved in your notes and you just cut, paste, and send. "Hi, James. I see you just celebrated your son's first day at school. Congratulations. I'll send you a copy of a fabulous book if you like." If someone responds and says, "Yes, please," right, now you've got a nice way of responding and turning that into a warm signal of interest. For those who are not using ScoreApp is an amazing bridge for people to go from a cold signal of interest to a hot signal of interest. So if someone's responding to your social media profiles and then you ask them to fill in a scorecard, answer some questions, get the score, that is an incredible bridge between content, just basic content, and a warm signal of interest. For example, if you go on a podcast and you know lots of people are going to connect with you on that podcast, have an online scorecard where people can benchmark themselves based on what you talked about on that podcast. If you've got a book, have a scorecard that goes with the book. If you've got a common theme or topic to what you post about, have a scorecard that relates to that common theme or topic. Very easy for you to set up a free account on ScoreApp. You can use all the templates. You can use the AI to set it up. It takes literally between 10 minutes and an hour for you to set yourself up a scorecard on a free account. So try scoreapp.com if you haven't done so already for that. Okay, so what is a red hot lead and what is an appointment? Essentially, people have booked into a workshop or a one-to-one meeting. That is what we're ultimately trying to do. Or they pay for the first thing, so they buy a first thing, or they come arriving through a very warm and informed referral. Those are your hottest leads that you'll ever get. So those are red hot leads. So as soon as someone is warm, you want to try and book them into something. So what can you book people into? You can book them into a weekly workshop or a one-to-one chat. I'm a really big fan of having both of those available. So for example, if you are a fitness trainer, you should have a weekly workshop on Zoom called How to Get Fit Even If You're a Busy Parent, How to Get Fit Even If You're a Hardworking Executive, or an introduction to fitness for people who work in the city. If you're a financial planner, an introduction to financial planning concepts. If you're a cybersecurity specialist, an introduction to cybersecurity techniques that work. Introduction to spotting cybersecurity threats. Any of those sorts of things. If you are a business coach, an introduction to building the business of your dreams. An introduction to having a business that runs on rails. An introduction to building a sales team that performs. So any of those types of things, if you're a life coach, an introduction to improving all areas of your life, an introduction to getting the relationship you want, an introduction to speaking up and having more confidence, any of those things, an introduction to blank, you should do that maybe once a week to once a month. But an introduction workshop is so powerful because many of your best customers are not ready to have a one-to-one with you, but they do want to see you perform. They want to see how you approach life, and they want to see how you approach the industry. They want to see how you present. So if you can present, absolutely powerful to have a workshop there.